Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is J. Kyle Schrader. I am currently in the back room of my house where I do a lot of my music stuff and make my videos. Anyway, I got a request from a YouTube guy named Jay Mayhem, I think is what he's going for. It's an awesome name, I like it. Anyway, he requested that I do a little bit more of an in-depth video on how I made the six-string Frankenstein banjo. So I'm going to go ahead and do a more in-depth explanation on how I did it. So here's the Frankenstein banjo hanging here on the wall. Currently it's missing a string. Wasn't long ago, me and some friends were jamming and I broke a string on it. As far as updating how the instrument has been performing, it doesn't perform very well. It goes out of tune very easily, and it's because it's such a well, it's like it doesn't stay in tune very well because it's not made very well. It's fun to play when it's in tune. And it's fun. It's easy to play. It plays just like an electric guitar, but I don't know. I'm just gonna explain how I did everything. So, right now, I think I'm gonna start with the neck. How I did that. So, what I did was I took an old electric guitar that I wasn't gonna use anymore. Somebody actually gave it to me. The electronics in it kind of sucked, but I actually used those for the lap steel that I made. So this guitar it didn't go to waste. A lot of its parts are in other things that I've made. So right now, so what we're looking at is this neck. Okay, came off of an old Epiphone guitar. I just sanded it. It was red. I sanded a lot of that off. I left it because I wanted to look as junky as possible. Actually, I wanted it to look like I found this thing in a garbage can, and that's kind of what it looks like. These tuners right here I got for 20 bucks on Amazon. They're actually locking tuners, but they kind of suck. They're cheap. As you can tell, one of them's broken. The little locking mechanism actually just broke while I was tightening it down one day, which is not good, not a good thing. But hey, they were 20 bucks on Amazon, so what do you expect? Anyway, so coming around here, that's all just like a guitar. What I did to attach it to the banjo is I glued it onto this block of mahogany. I had a big mahogany board that I used to build my lap steel, and the mahogany that I had left over, I cut a strip of it, and as you can tell, it's just it's like 3/4 of an inch thick, by like 2.5 inches wide. Just a board, and then it comes through this drum rim, or the shell actually, which I cut. I just took a 12-inch tom and I just cut it in half, and then I used the just the measurements between these tensioners. I used the measurements to find my center points on the shell and then cut these holes. And I oversized the holes. I did that on purpose so that I could make some adjustments in this shell. And that's what these blocks are here for. Basically what I did with these blocks is I attached this wood that's attached to the neck to the blocks, and I attached the blocks to the shell. And I did that just to give it some separation, because banjos don't sound good when they're a solid instrument. They're supposed to have separation between the neck and not necessarily the body, but the neck and the rim, so that the banjo can resonate without too much resonation. There's I don't know, there's science behind it, of how a banjo works, but I'm not an expert person on building banjos. So this was just a DIY project that somehow came together and worked. And I used mostly hand tools, which was kind of a disadvantage. Actually, it's very much a disadvantage. Anyway, so it comes through on the other end of this shell, and as you can tell, I didn't attach it very well. I just got some screws going through the shell to hold it in place, and I've got a little paper shim there, and I use that to set up the action of the instrument, to actually tilt the neck up and down to where I found the perfect height. Because these strings, the way they work is you can tilt the neck back and forth on the shell to actually raise and lower the height of the strings. And of course, I didn't want high action on an electric neck because that would be silly. And plus, I just wanted it to come across this bridge here, which all I did with this bridge was I just bought a 6-string guitar or a 6-string banjo bridge off Amazon. It was pretty cheap. It was like $6. And then I had a little bit of that mahogany left over, and I did that for 2 reasons. For one reason, I needed the bridge to be higher, and the other reason, I didn't want the bridge to push down into the skin because I'm not using an actual banjo's head on here. I'm just using an old tom head, which isn't really made for this. But it works. I mean, obviously it makes noise, and like I said, it's missing a string here. But then what I did for the bridge is I took an old, I have some metallophones is what they're called, but they're like xylophones. And I had some of these aluminum bells from that, and I just bent them in like an L shape and then drilled 6 holes in them for the strings to slide through and hold on. Now this is a terrible design, I know. I needed to attach something to that block of wood, and then I needed it to come over the head. So this is what I came up with all my just hand tools. I did drill the holes with an electric drill. Thank God I have one of those. But other than that, everything else is just I bent it. I put it in my barbecue pit and heated it up and bent it, and it worked out pretty good. It's ugly, but it works. And so that's really how I put this thing together. Everything else is just kind of guessing. All the rope and stuff like that, that's just what I did here is I took some rope and, as you can tell, like a handkerchief, and stuffed it behind the head. And that's just so that there's not so much resonance in the head whenever it's being played. So anyway, that's the gist of it. That's an in-depth look at the Frankenstein banjo. Thank you, Jay Mayhem, for commenting on my page and liking my video. I hope this helps you out. I'm really glad that you make instruments. That's really cool. And man, you should make some how-to videos yourself. And what I would really like to do eventually is actually be able to do a full tutorial video on how to build instruments. I would like to do that, especially with a lap steel, because they're so easy to make. They're so much fun to make, and they're a lot of fun to play. Anyway, this is J. Kyle Schrader signing off. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe to my channel. I hope it helps me out one day, and if you're on Facebook or Twitter, just share it. Share it with your friends, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.